What was the first instrument that I fell in love with? Probably, mm, it's a tie, man. It's a tie probably between the guitar and the piano. The earliest pictures that my mom has, like she was showing me not too long ago, I'm like 2 or 3 years old, playing on this like this little guitar, like I'm some rocker, and like my mouth, I'm like screaming or shouting or singing something. So, but I also had a piano in the household growing up. My dad played piano, so um, I fell in love with them kind of simultaneously. The kind of music that I loved when I was younger was heavily influenced by Motown. You know, my mom had all the records. She worked for Arista. She worked at Right On, so she had just such a wealth of knowledge about that era of music. You know, the '60s and '70s era of music. So that's what was playing. That's what we had tapes of. I remember taking trips to our on vacation. We would be bumping an entire Isley Brothers tape, you know, and I'd have it down packed by the time we got back home from our vacation because it was just in constant rotation. Stevie Wonder, obviously the Jacksons, Marvin, all of that. That was what I remember growing up and listening to. The first album I remember personally owning, probably Skee Lo. I wish. And shout out to Skee Lo, man. Skee Lo was super dope. I still remember, for those of you guys remember when that video came out, that I Wish video, that iconic video. But Skee Lo was dope. Like he could rap. He didn't do a whole bunch of cussing, so that allowed, you know, that made it comfortable for my mom to have, for me to be listening to that on my Discman. So yeah, Skee Lo. I wish. The one song I wish I could have written myself, that's too hard, man. There's so many. Man, A Song for You, the version with Donny Hathaway. I forget who wrote that for him. It wasn't Leon Ware. I can't remember who it was. Love's in Need of Love Today, Stevie Wonder. Inner Visions, Stevie Wonder. Like that can go on and on. X Factor, Lauryn Hill. I could go on and on, but those are just some that come off the top of my head. Do I have any habits or rituals that I go through when I'm trying to write new music? It varies. I might try to drive. Driving is always good for me. Just being on the move. It seems like my thoughts come a little bit more fluid when I'm driving, and I'm by myself. That's usually a good time to get me to do some songwriting. Having conversations with some of my friends just about life in general. And then going to lounges. Like I love going to hear my colleagues perform and try out new music. You know, it's similar to how, comics will go from comics store to comedy store, working out new material, and then kind of just feeding off of the inspiration of seeing your fellow performers up there. So that's usually part of my routine. I may do some sort of meditation. Sometimes I might have a little libation, burn a little something, burn some incense or whatever. But most of the time I'm just driving and just trying to listen for the downloads. My favorite artist that I found myself listening to at the moment, can't say this man's name enough, Kenyon Dixon, Leon Thomas. Wow. Lucky Day. In those spaces of just R&B, soul, and then the classics. I'm always listening to D'Angelo. I'm always listening to Joe. I'm always listening to Lauryn Hill, Nas. I'm listening to everything classic. If I could open a show for anyone in the world, and that's hard. I gotta go for it, man. I would say D'Angelo. I would love to open for D'Angelo. That's the pinnacle, man. That's the pinnacle in this D'Angelo, in this R&B neo soul space. That would be the ultimate privilege for me. The most rewarding part about being a musician is the catharsis, the release, the free therapy that you get just by creating. And it is an adventure every time. It's humbling every time. And it's freeing. So just being able to create, take your thoughts, your inspirations from your brain, from your heart, from your spirit, and then get them onto a page, get them onto some sort of recording for the world to hear. There's nothing better. Nothing can beat that. The most frustrating part about being a musician is everything. It's where you're your most vulnerable. It is taking risks that are, again, coming from your mind and your heart, your spirit, and hoping that it connects to other people. And that can be the most nerve-wracking thing. People misunderstanding your art, or you being too much of a perfectionist and kind of like overdoing it sometimes. I think getting in your head too much can also be one of the bigger challenges of being an artist. And, remembering that at the end, you're just having fun. You're just creating. You're putting your love into something. That's really the ultimate motivation, or should be. It's just have fun, man. The best piece of advice that I have received as a musician, man, probably just run your race, stay in your lane. It's probably something that Nip said. I'm sure it is, Don't be afraid to take the stairs. Everybody else might be taking the escalator or elevator or whatever, but you take the stairs, you're going to learn something about yourself. You're going to build a different type of integrity, a different type of work ethic and appreciation for every advancement. So probably something along those lines. Run your race. Always. Yeah. Peace. This is LoveLogiq, and I am anxious and excited for you guys to hear my new project entitled Love for Sale, which will be available on all platforms February 9th. Again, Love for Sale, February 9th. This is LoveLogiq. Always. Thank you. Peace. Long live the love. Peace. My hand at it, I'm a 10 minutes. Ain't got no 10 minutes.